Communication in insects. Acoustic, visual, tactile and chemical pheromonal. Insects language. Filled circle communication is defined as an exchange of information between two or more individuals, the one S that transmits the message emitter and the one S that receives and processes that message receptor. Filled circle. While in humans communication passes through a long learning process, in insects the same process tends to be an inborn mechanism. Each newborn individual has a specific vocabulary shared only with organisms of its own species. Filled circle. On the other hand, we tend to see communication as an obvious process. If the emitter says, "Thank you," we expect the receptor to say, "You're welcome," in return. In insects, likewise in other animals, communication can take place in a way that information can't be appreciated for us humans. Filled circle. Thus, it's better to say that communication is an act or condition of any part of an organism that alters the behavior of another organism. What does it mean? That the emitter insect sends a message to the rest of organisms by doing some action, e.g. an acoustic signal, or maybe by developing some physical trait which informs the rest of individual of some stuff, e.g. the color pattern of wings of some butterflies, in order to induce some answer or changes on the receptors that would benefit one or both of them. Why do insects communicate? Insects communicate both with organisms of the same species, intraspecific communication, and directly or indirectly with organisms of other species, interspecific communication, for many reasons. Filled circle reproduction. To look for a mate, courtship. Filled circle. To identify members of the same species or even to warn other organisms of its own presence. Filled circle. To localize sources of recourses, food, nidification. Places. Filled circle is an alert signal towards potential hazards. Filled circle. To defend territory. Filled circle is a way to camouflage or to mimic other organisms. Language through senses. Insects use almost all senses to communicate. Along this section, we'll analyze one by one all communication systems that insects develop through the five sense, just like some of the flashiest examples. Tactile communication. The touch. Filled circle. Tactile communication in insects would be equivalent to the sense of touch in vertebrates. Filled circle. Although nervous system in insects is underdeveloped compared to the one of vertebrates, tactile communication is based on the same principle. It must be some type of direct or indirect physical contact between the emitter of the message and the receptor. Tandem running. Follow the leader. Filled circle. Since long ago, we know that ants walk in line one after another because some of them leave a chemical track that the rest of individuals follow to not get lost. Filled circle. But, aside of emitting these chemical signals, some ant species seem to establish a strategic physical contact system known as tandem running. The ant located behind touches the abdomen of the one that is immediately before it, the leader, with its antennae. Moreover, if the leader stops feeling the antennae of the one behind, the leader will turn and wait for the one that follows it. Tandem running. Steps observed in ants. It has also been studied in some termite species. Dancing bees. Filled circle. Honeybees, Apis mellifera, perform dances to show other members of their colonies where nectar is located, direction and distance, and also if it has a high quality. Bees dance inside their hives, so this performance takes place in deep darkness. Filled circle. So, you'll ask yourself, why dance if no one sees you? Because the sense of sight is not necessary in this case to transmit the information. The rest of bees don't perceive the movements in essence, but only the vibrations the dancing bee transmits through all the hive while moving. Chemical communication. Smell and taste. Filled circle. Chemical communication is probably the most extended communication mechanism among insects. Filled circle. In this type of communication, the emitter scatters chemical substances at the environment which are detected by other organisms. Filled circle. There exists a lot of types of chemical substances, pheromones for finding a mate, chemicals, as alarm signals, as a defensive system, etc. Filled circle. Even more important than how they scatter those substances, is the system they use to detect them. Insects have more or less specialized receptors located on their antennae, their legs, etc. Filled circle. We can say they can savor and smell these substances with almost all parts of their body. Filled circle. Love gives you wings, and pheromones. Females of some moth species emit pheromones that can be detected even by male moth located kilometers away. This is the case of small emperor moth. Females of some moth species emit Filled circle. Filled circle. We can say they can savor and smell these substances with almost all parts. Filled circle. Even more. Filled circle. There exists a lot of types of chemical substances, pheromones for finding a mate, chemicals, as alarm signals, as a defensive system, etc. Filled circle. Even more important than how they scatter those substances, is the system they use to detect them. Insects have more or less specialized receptors located on their antennae, their legs, etc. Filled circle. We can say they can savor and smell these substances with almost all parts of their body. Filled circle. Love gives you wings, and pheromones. Females of some moth species emit pheromones that can be detected even by male moth located kilometers away. This is the case of small emperor moth females, Saturnia pavonia, which attract males located almost 16 kilometers away. Saturnia pavonia male above and female below. Filled circle. Your smell betrays you. Communication can take place among insects of the same or different species. Euclytia flava is a bedbug parasitoid that detects its hosts by the way they smell. More accurately, by detecting the chemical substances that the hosts emit. These type of substances that benefit the receptor but not the emitter are known as chiromones. Euclytia flava. Auditory communication. The hearing. Filled circle. Insects emit a wide variety of sounds in different frequencies, amplitude and periodicity, and each species has a very well-defined pattern. In fact, only by registering and analyzing insects' sounds we can identify the species that has emitted them. Filled circle. While humans can detect sounds in a range from 20 to 20.000 Hz, insects can emit and detect sounds above this range. Some crickets can produce ultrasounds above 80.000 Hz. Filled circle. The summer sound. Cicads are amazing for many reasons. They remain more than 17 years in a nymph state underground until they reach adulthood and also emit a wide range of singings from sunrise to sunset during summer months. They emit these sound by stridulatory organs located in the abdomen, and are received by an auditory organs located on their legs or thorax. They emit these sound by stridulatory organs located in the abdomen, and are received by an auditory organs located on their legs or thorax. Filled circle. Some cicads are able to emit sounds that exceeds 120 decibels. They almost reach the human ear pain threshold. However, some small cicade species emit sounds in a so elevated frequency that can't be listened by humans, but that could be painful for other animals. Filled circle. The sounds of cicads have many purposes, although they use it specially for finding a mate or to delimitate their territory. Filled circle. I'm all antennae. Some studies reinforce the idea that males of some mosquito species have a higher sensibility in their antennae to detect the vibrations emitted by the beating of female wings through the air. Electron microscopy image of a male mosquito in which we can appreciate its feathery antennae. These pelocities heighten its sensibility. Visual communication. The sight. Filled circle. Visual communication in insects takes place by two main systems: body color patterns and light signal bioluminescence. Filled circle. Each species has specific color patterns, which can be useful for identifying members of the same species, also to attract a mate or even to alert other organisms about its dangerousness, aposematic mimicry, or to drive away predators. On the other hand, there are also species that emit light signals to attract other specimens, e.g. fireflies or beetle from Lampyridae family. Filled circle. Eyes, or only spots. Caligomemnon, with its spots that resemble two big owl eyes and which allow them to drive away predators. Filled circle. Lights in the dark. Fireflies are the most common example of communication mediated by bioluminescent signals, but there exist more insects which are able to emit light. Filled circle. The click beetle Pyrophorus noctilucus has two small bioluminescent organs located behind its head. The light of these organs get more intense when being menaced. Filled circle. Larvae or larviform adult females from the beetle genus Phrixothrix emit two types of light, green and red. They emit red light by two organs located in their heads only when they feel menaced in order to alert other larvae about the presence of predators. Thank you. Communication in insects.